My oh my, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, you know what time it is. It's Wednesday, so it's your favorite podcast in all the land. It's the Bold Sports Show, Bold Prediction Sports Media, and it's the usual suspects. It's the dude with the
Mm.
beard, Mr. KC with the beard, hashtag that. Oh, we back, man. It's the free agency. NFL's going crazy. We got UFC coming up. We got UFL action coming up at the end of the month of March. It's starting to pick up, and we ain't even talking about March Madness. What's going on, Mr. KC?
Oh, it's a wild week of sports, really, if you want to think about it and talk about it. I mean, we do have this big UFC 299 coming up Saturday, which we're doing a stream for, obviously.
Obviously.
The NFL's going nuts right now. Everybody's getting fired. It's a regular old show of a princess out here.
Oh yeah, we've seen a lot of removals. We're starting to see a few additions here. Um, Really, we can just go ahead and jump on into it. I like to see how the Bills are going to rebuild this team now that they know that they needed to. Now that they're starting to get rid of pieces, we've been saying they should have slid the dynamite into that thing, and now we're going to see what happens. They got cap problems, but we knew that was going to happen. You paid guys 3 years
Mm.
ago like y'all was going to the Super Bowl every year, and the plan them backfired. So, I love to see the destruction, but at the same time, looks like the East is getting a little bit easier for Miami.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be the news of the week, right? As of right now, well, besides the whole Russell Wilson noise, um, the fact that we're looking at the Bills, look, everything the Chiefs traded to trade up to get to draft Patrick Mahomes, they traded the Bills to get to the 10th spot. Every
Yeah,
piece that they traded for is now off of the Bills team. They no longer
yeah,
have any of them. It's all gone. It's done, and that doesn't include what you traded to get Josh Allen.
right.
So we're looking at the Bills really kind of regressing. Like it's not going to be a bold prediction. We see it by these roster moves, cutting everybody that's made any kind of money on that team, and there's
Oh,
still $15 million in cap space that they need to clear, not including roughly like 10 million for
man,
draft picks. You're
and
sitting here looking at the draft coming up, and you're $25 million behind the eight ball currently.
man,
And that's they got Von Miller to restructure a contract, and that
which
gets you a little bit.
which
But
is still a
what?
terrible signing. Probably the worst
Mm,
signing you guys did in years, man. Like I don't know what you thought you was getting. Like I just really don't know what they thought they were gonna get with this dude. Like anyway, it's crazy. It's almost as crazy as the Russell Wilson deal and the Deshaun Watson deal, dude. You paying for a dude who's all his best years are clearly behind him. He can't stay healthy. He's trying to be a Super Bowl journeyman. So anyway, but it's not gonna happen in Buffalo. You got rid of dudes who actually could play. You got rid of your best one of the best centers in the NFL, Mitch Morris, had to be a cap casualty. You get rid of your
hmm
safety and one of your top corners. Who else they got rid of? And the boy, I think his name was like Deontay Hardy or
Poyer,
something like that.
yeah, they
Yeah,
got rid
Jordan
of
Poyer
Poyer.
safety. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's just just clearing house. Like that's just all it is. You've got no second. It's a long road to a rebuild. I think, and the problem is I don't think they're going to properly throw dynamite at it. They're going to try to remain competitive, and in doing so, they're going to be stuck right in that terrible range of being 7-9, or excuse me, 7-10, where you're just not winning.
yes.
You're lying to your fans at this point. What are we talking about?
And folks who watch and our whole Rumble family, YouTube family, y'all check us out. Y'all know I had picked them not to even make the playoffs last year. It was a bless. It was by the graces of everything falling together for them to even get there, just for them to lose horribly. It's Buffalo has been done, and like I said, and they never really got started. And that's the only thing is like it's a sobering reality for you folks now, for all you fans out in Buffalo, for all of the Josh Allen super lovers, the Josh Allen crybabies too, like The Rock say
Mm.
about Cody Rhodes. Man, look, I'm sorry. This is just what it is. We've been telling y'all this for years. We've been trying to tell you the truth. You're not gonna win a Super Bowl no time soon, especially when you got Josh Allen at quarterback. I'm sorry. There's a certain guys who can elude you to the fact that maybe they could do it, but they never will. I.e., the comparison I always say, Philip Rivers. So
Mm.
let these moments sober you up. You see how your team's doing. You see y'all ain't the biggest highlight of y'all postseason history these last few years is a loss to Kansas City. The best game he's
Yeah.
ever played in the playoffs is a loss to Kansas City. That should tell you something. Wake up, y'all. That's it. Sober reality moment. Wake up, man.
And it's really like, how do they were $32 million over the cap before the day. So they released Poyer, Mitchell, Mitch Morse, and all these guys, and they're still $15 million away. They still got to like figure it out, And this is, I hate to say it, but it's you can't blame them for trying to go all in, but it just didn't even seem like a very all in method. Like
Thank you.
you never got Josh Allen an additional weapon. Like let's look at the
No, 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 no,
Cincinnati
no, no.
Bengals.
Well, we can't say that because Gabe Davis and that other dude they had, bro, they had more than viable weapons. Like let's call it what it is. It's Josh Allen. You and I both know it. I know you. I know we you got to spread the blame around because it is a team game.
Right.
But it starts and finishes with Josh Allen because get Patrick Mahomes ain't got none of them receivers. Give him those two. Give him Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs. They probably
Right.
both be 1,000-yard receivers, 10 touchdowns
But
apiece probably.
the problem is when you look around the NFL, you can't expect your quarterback to do what Mahomes does.
But
Like
that's
what
what
you
they
need to
tried to
do,
model.
what you got to do is what I call the Joe Burrow approach. The Brock Purdy approach. We just seen it make the Super Bowl.
The
It's
Brock Purdy
you
approach.
look, your quarterback is not gonna carry your team. Okay, let's be honest. He's not Pat Mahomes. So what you need to do is surround him with as much talent as humanly possible. Like, look, you got the 49ers there. The Cincinnati Bengals are now in this problem. This is their biggest problem
Because
because
they did the same thing Buffalo did, trying to contend with something that's uncontendable in the reality of the situation.
yeah,
That's what
and
I'm
they really needed to be healthy this year. And even though it wasn't there this year either, but in 2021, when you're looking at Joe Burrow, Chase, and Higgins, that was 8% of their salary cap. And right
hmm
now, you're looking at that's 25% between the three of them.
yeah.
And it's going to go the opposite way because they can no longer just surround Joe. Like unless they just continue to refuse to give them any kind of offensive line, stop, neglect the defense. But can you really afford to neglect the defense if the goal is to beat Pat Mahomes? Like,
Man,
you're the catch 22, and you
my
can't
thing
really.
is no. I'm no. Go ahead. Finish your point. I'm
No, you're
sorry.
good. I'm
Oh,
good.
I was gonna say my thing is, if we're talking about approaches to these situations, even though they probably played the worst game, the best approach is the Baltimore Raven approach that they had. But it was just unfortunate for them. They had to play Patrick Mahomes, who was already fueled and like thoroughly breathing fire at this point from all the what they call a bulletin board material,
Mm,
all the he say she like you. If people haven't learned yet, you can't talk shit to Pat or about Pat. Like you shouldn't even talk about the Chiefs unless you talk positive because he's gonna get angry and he's gonna go on an unstoppable tear, and it's gonna seem like he makes everybody else inadequate, which is inevitably the case. It was what happens. But Baltimore's approach, clearly they was the best team in football all year. Still, in my opinion, even
yeah,
though we are the best team, they are the team that was the most congealed or whatever you want to call it, most together. They had the best opportunity to win. They had the defense that could have done it. You had the quarterback to make plays, and they had the playmakers to do it. The thing is, they succumbed to the pressure. And so
yeah.
when it's beyond technique and what they're trying to do, who is going to rise to the occasion? I just
I
don't see
mean,
any of them doing it right now. It's going to have to be C.J. Stroud.
we completely watched them miss or just stop running the ball completely. They really put themselves in a position all season long where they developed a formula for their team and they
Hmm.
just couldn't get it done. Like
That's
it wasn't enough.
It's the old Mike Tyson thing. When you get hit in the mouth,
Mm,
plans change, things adjust. How do you adjust to that after you done took that in the first haymaker we hit him with was quick. That's what I'm saying. Like they were
right.
shocked out the gate.
And people will always
So
say the formula is to run the ball against the Chiefs, but the Chiefs really kind of want to encourage that because
man,
what they're hoping for is when you're down and you decide to run the ball, what you're doing is you're shortening the game for them. Because when you
man,
give them the ball back, they're going to run it also. Like we're
man.
continuously getting to the point now where we're like, we just need to get the game over
Yeah.
with. Like we're
They they
winning.
they they set themselves up to where Patrick Mahomes no longer has to he can dial back from being playoff to Pat to play like Alex Smith's apprentice. All right, now that they're demoralized and they're clearly not doing enough to win the game, let me just make sure I don't do enough to lose it.
Hmm.
And let's just ride this wave on home, fella. Let's not overexert ourselves because they done already gave up.
Right. Speaking of giving up, let's talk about the Denver Broncos and Russell Wilson. So we've got a bunch of giving up going on here, and
Oh
they've
yeah,
decided to officially throw in the towel. Say we're going to take this $85 million hit over the next 2 years. $85 million. But what
and
that
that's how
does
you know.
allow,
Mm-mm-mm.
what it does allow though, is some other team to get a veteran quarterback for $1.5 million because there's no reason to pay like these. Russell Wilson's getting paid one way or the other. He's
Right,
getting paid.
right. And
So
I wouldn't give him more than a veteran's minimum if he's coming to try to play for him. Like, look, man, we're gonna let them keep paying you. But if you want to play
yeah,
and show us that you actually can, maybe we can holler at something. But my thing is, I don't know where Russell goes unless he goes to Minnesota. If they don't bring Kirk Cousins back, I don't see him going to it or maybe Atlanta. If they
yeah.
don't
You've
try
got Atlanta and you
if they
got
don't try to
there's
draft anybody. So
there's a
I
lot of
mean,
Pittsburgh talk too. I could see that being kind of a fit too. You know,
hope not,
even
because for one, are y'all really giving up on Kenny Pickett already?
yes,
I just don't
yes.
see why. I really
I
don't see why.
because I'm pretty sure that Ben
They made the playoffs,
Roethlisberger had a single game. They did without him, without KP.
but who got them
That was
there?
you know
Kenny P.
he was not the
It
only
was
one.
mostly Kenny P. Yeah,
It was
man.
somewhat. There
He
was a
was
touch of
playing
kid. If
Dragons during the season.
I'm not a, I just don't see it. I don't see. I'm done with the Kenny Pickett experiment. Ben Roethlisberger had a game where he had more than his stats last season. Like it's that big of a difference. He doesn't produce enough. There's no
So
way
you're
I'm go.
That's
Did he have
crazy.
10 touchdowns
You're
last season?
comparing a second year quarterback to a Hall of Famer, and a
No, I'm
second year
comparing
quarterback who
one
had
game to a
no
whole season.
weapons, no help whatsoever on the offensive side besides that running back every now and then. Like that's crazy. What makes you think Russell Wilson's gonna do any what makes them think anybody's gonna do any better in that situation when you still don't have no weapons?
Because Mason Rudolph did. Like he improved. It was an improvement
He
offense
looked the same
with him on
then.
the field. No. He probably had better numbers than KP did in limited action. Like it
I
probably
doubt
wasn't
that.
even that close. Yeah,
I
it might be. I don't know. I'd have to fact check. I can't put no iced teas on that or nothing. But it just the eyeball test. Just I'm past KP. Like that ain't it for
Well,
you.
that's
Think
easy for you
KP's?
because you was never
You
on the
think
wagon.
KP? You seen KP? True. I mean, there's a lot of that too. I mean, I was big. I was kind of in this position at the beginning of the season, and I feel like he just proved me right. Jordan Love proved me wrong. I feel like
And
Kenny
it just
Pickett
comes from
proved
the
me
same
right.
fan base who wanted to
As
fire Mike Tomlin.
I just
So I Pittsburgh and that city itself, y'all are undeserving of football almost. You got a Hall of Fame coach y'all want to get rid of. You want to get rid of a
you
second year quarterback who made your team relevant. Like he yeah, anyway, it's crazy to me, but I understand. Whatever people want Patrick Mahomes and they want it now.
Yeah. Oh,
So
absolutely. And you're gonna you see that a lot around the league. Like, I mean, the problem is the AFC North is super competitive. Every team in that division is fighting for that division. Like, any one of them could really win it, except for like the Browns don't have to use Watson. They can win it. Like it's
man,
the
and Deshaun
Baltimore
Watson should
Ravens,
keep
obviously.
his job, but Kenny Pickett should lose his. That's just crazy.
Well,
Maybe
the
maybe
problem,
he trade Kenny Pickett to Cleveland then and let him play with some weapons and let's see what happens. This Baker Mayfield. I just hate when teams don't
look,
give people enough time and you squander your opportunity, and then you're gonna be looking just like Cleveland did. Baker Mayfield down in Tampa Bay probably about to get a fat contract because he's like, yeah, I
Baker
can actually
had.
play football.
I don't like the Baker to comparison to KP because Baker
Not at
had
all.
flashes of being good before the
And Kenny
Browns moved
Pickett
on
didn't.
from him. No,
Or and
no,
you have got to be kidding me. But
no.
that,
I am
well, I
not.
expect
This
that
is
from you though. Like I said, it's hard to. It's like a one way conversation because when you're not even objective to it, when you've already put somebody in a certain category, it's hard to
yeah,
even.
yeah.
Yeah, good
And
buddy.
you know me, I'm the worst at it. Once I put him in that box, but it is hard to come out of it. It was surprising
I
Jordan
know.
Love managed to come out. I really even tried to, he popped out and I even tried to push him back in. And that man, he done popped it. He was like a jack in the box. It was oh no, you can't keep him in. But I think there's a lot of potential. The best part about Russell Wilson and the most attractive part is he's going to be cheap. It's not like Kirk Thuggins. Kirk Thuggins,
Right.
this put a lot of this put a little damper into his parade because you get a better quarterback with Kirk Thuggins than Russell Wilson, right?
Sure.
But you get Russell Wilson for pennies on the dollar for compared to Kirk Thuggins.
If that's the case,
Someone else has
I'm
already
calling
picked up
Mike
that
Tomlin.
tab.
Then I'd rather call Mike Tomlin. Trade me Kenny Pickett before I go and get Russell Wilson. I'm calling everybody. I'm calling Chicago. What do you
Mm.
want for Justin Fields if this is what we're doing?
I like Justin Fields and for the Pittsburgh too, because we know Justin Fields could be a potential third wheel quarterback that we're not talking about that's potentially available, right? The rumor is for, maybe a second, maybe a little bit more, but for a real, second for a young quarterback on a rookie contract, that's got a lot of, like if I'm looking at Kirk Thuggins, who's going to cost 50 mil a year, I get Russell Wilson, who's $1 million a year, but still Russell Wilson. Or do I trade a second, spend a little bit of money on Justin Fields and roll the dice on that and see if I can't develop what should be a legitimate quarterback?
And my thing is, in regards to that, we'll have to see if Chicago's really that dumb to get rid of him. Like the only people who says Justin Fields shouldn't be in Chicago is mainstream media and maybe you. I don't know how you feel about Justin Fields in the Chicago city.
That's
My only thing
that
is,
one's
it's just
that's
what
a
I'm
tough
saying about.
situation.
Well, no, it's just what I'm saying about Kenny Pickett. It's like, bro, if you don't put nothing around them, how do you expect these people to go and win you games? You look like you said. You look at Joe Burrow. Y'all gave him receivers out the gate. You look at you you look at any other quarterback, even oh dude, what is his name? Even though he squanders his opportunity. The Atlanta's last quarterback. What was his name? Is it Desmond Ritter? Was it Ritter?
Yep, yep.
Yeah, give Justin Fields them what that's what I'm saying. Like, just give him somebody to help. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if they get rid of him and he goes to another team, all that's going to happen is that Chicago is going to get significantly worse. Because I don't know, like I don't think Caleb Williams got it at all. He already said he don't want to play for Chicago, so I don't know who you're going to draft because you're not going to draft him, especially if he just like, well, shit, I'm not going to do it. I mean, because they got options now. Like,
What,
he ain't got to
what,
play for y'all.
well, I think if you don't draft him, you have the ability to trade back to someone that really wants to draft him, and
Man, and then you can
really
get Justin
set up the
Field again.
continue. Like this really that's what's really kind of disappointing about the Chicago organization is they could really set themselves up where they have just so much draft capital and such a solid team. Like you could really trade back to probably 3, 4, pick
I
up
wouldn't go
Marvin
that far
Harrison.
back. The furthest back I would go is two because I think Marvin. He's either if Chicago was staying number one, they need to take Marvin number one. But if they're
And you
comfortable enough to
could.
move back to number 2 or 3, knowing they're going to take Caleb, and they can still get Marvin at 2 or 3, that's the only way I make that move. Because if you give Justin Fields, Marvin Harrison Jr., dude, that offense explodes exponentially. And then what they got the ninth pick too or something like that. So they
Yeah,
get
I
another
think
stud. There.
yeah, they're so loaded. They are so loaded
That's what
right
I'm
now.
saying.
It's
You get
not even
another
funny.
guy right there, dude. And dude, good night. They got the opportunity to bolster this thing. Yeah, because they got round one, pick one, uh, for stupid Panthers. And they got round one, number 9. That's what I'm saying, bro.
Yeah.
You gonna get 2 receivers right there. Third round, take you a tackle. And then they still got 2 fourth-round picks and a fifth-round. Dude, they got nothing but quality picks.
Yeah. And it's just, I don't know, man. This draft class is super deep at wide receiver too, or
Hmm.
supposedly.
Now, if he
They
don't, now if
sometimes
you
they'll
get
say
him
that.
help and he don't do nothing this time going forward, then you can shop the idea of trading him. But dude, the reason why I feel so strong about this, of course, I'm a Ohio State fan, but I've seen Justin Fields play. I know he got it, bro. Him and C.J. Stroud are almost the same quarterback, except for C.J. I feel like is a little bit more athletic. That's the only
And
difference between them two.
CJ seems to have passed the eyeball test to me. Let me see. We
Well,
got a comment here. Let me see what we got here. I'm happy that the United States soccer has become more popular in recent years. Now I'm looking forward to the World Cup. That will be the United States with the 48 national teams. Yeah, it might even get us to talk a little World Cup action.
right.
But we're not. that's not really our cup of tea, to be honest. So we don't usually uh, dive into soccer or football, whatever you want to call it. But
Yeah, but
we were,
are we getting? Isn't that? Are we getting them in 26? Isn't the World Cup
yeah,
in
yeah. The
Kansas
World
City?
Cup's coming there. The Kansas City's getting it. It'll be a nice little event, little scene.
Yeah,
Being
so we're gonna
good for
see.
the
But
town.
well, soccer's is big in Kansas City, though. I would say that it's not
Yeah,
huge. It's not like that, but it's definitely the third most frequented sport here. I will say that for sure.
I'd
Uh,
go with that.
we have championship teams. The women's team, the Mystics, are pretty good. Sporting KC's always been top tier. Even when we was the Wizards, we were top tier in most seasons.
Yeah.
So so soccer is really low key has kind of been our championship staple. That was the only team winning chips for us for a long time.
For a long,
So
he kind of kicked off that winning streak. Really,
it really did.
the Sporting KC won a title, and the Royals won a title, and now we're out here. The Chiefs just can't stop winning titles.
Man.
It's really part of the culture almost.
Hmm. And so what? Because I know, well, when we was the Wizards, we won. I know we won the MLS Cup in 2000. I remember that because it was huge. Um, and went again in I think, yeah, because you're right.
I
It
think
had to be
it was
either
like
13 or
2013 or
14.
something like that.
Yeah, that's what I said. It had to be.
Yeah,
That's
something
what I was
like
about to say
that.
about 13 or 14 because it really did. It started off this championship streak, and I mean, shoot, they've been winning stuff ever since. I know they won at 17. Dude, yeah. So shout out to soccer though, and shout out to everything it's been doing for Kansas City on the under, man. We are a championship city, and I can say that with the utmost confidence.
For sure. And we appreciate you checking us out. That's always cool. You know, we always excited to expand our horizon a little bit.
Now,
Oh,
talk a little bit.
speaking of,
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to wonder what you was about to say. Now you got me curious.
Oh, gotcha. I was just gonna say because we was talking about receivers though. I'm looking at Kansas City and what we're gonna do in regards to receiver, whether we're gonna stick with the draft or whether we go out and get a dude like Tyler Boyd because he's cheaper and he's a veteran presence, a guy who we know can catch the ball.
Yeah, and I've seen the name of Mooney from the Chicago Bears. He might be another, cheaper guy. Look, honestly, Mike Evans just got signed for 2 years. He stayed in Tampa Bay, so we closed that window of rumors. And definitely for the money that he got paid, I don't want him. I don't want to pay 25 mil for Mike Evans.
Mm-mm.
Um, you We're going to see names thrown around anytime any wide receiver is released. It's automatically going to be linked to Kansas City, and I think
Right.
we do pick up one guy. There's going to be one guy that we spend 10 to 15 on, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's closer to that 10 mil mark. We're going to be looking for a very budgety wide receiver. The guys that we're getting is not going to be an Odell Beckham Jr. It's not going to be someone that's going to sell a lot of jerseys. You know, when you look at Sammy Watkins, he sold a couple of jerseys immediately coming here.
Right.
MVS didn't really do that, and I think even MVS is going to be kind of more of an upgrade than what we're going to sign this time, because we're going to look for MVS, but we want to pay him what he's worth. Is going to be the difference,
Well,
and I
yeah,
think we
but at
draft
the
someone.
same time, though, I think we actually go for an actual more receiver type than just a specialist because he was brought in just really to be a deep threat. That's all he was in Green Bay. He wasn't really the between the numbers receiver making catches, moving the chains. But there's a lot of guys out there who should be cheap that can do that. I've had my own KJ Osborne. He was on my fantasy team last year. He played for the Vikings. And if we can
Right.
just get somebody like that, I said, oh, at this point, what this season proved is all we just need the dude who's competent enough to catch the ball and run straight.
Yeah.
Because Rasheed
Yeah.
Rice has
Because
showed
look
you
at,
anything. He almost was 1,000-yard receiver his rookie year.
yeah, and that's huge for a rookie under Andy Reid too. Look, anybody that's gotten like 550 yards and above has turned into an elite guy under Andy Reid. So if a guy's touching near, we can almost. I hate to round up to 1,000, but you could almost do it with them too.
Yeah.
You're really knocking on the door, as a rookie. So I would expect, I'm kind of thinking Rasheed Rice. I would expect him to be more in that 12 to 1,300 yard range. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
they're gonna
Yeah, I
they're
think
gonna
next year
lean
he's
on him
gonna
a
be
lot more.
trashing people. I think he's gonna be so nasty next year. It's probably gonna be ridiculous, dude.
Mhm. But I think the thing is with Travis getting a little bit older, we do need to look at making sure that Pat Mahomes has another Travis.
And
Like
Noah Gray
obviously,
he need to be in the game more. You got to step up. Because now
yeah,
it's
and we
time to
just,
draft up.
yeah, we need to make sure that he's got, and Rice could very well be that guy. They seem very comfortable with each other, but I'm just talking that guy that it's third down. There's no there's no route called. It's just them two, and that's what we gotta find his next Trav, because let's face it, Travis Kelsey's got 3 years left. That's about all we really got, and if we're lucky, really.
Right. That's what I'm thinking too. Because he's to the point, what, he 3-time champion now.
Hmm.
Uh dude, undoubtedly first ballot Hall of Fame.
Right,
The most consecutive 1,000-yard seasons for a tight end in history.
times
Uh
two, but
yeah,
two times
times
the next
two.
guy. Yeah, he
Man.
doubled up the next guy.
And it's not even
Got you some
close.
breathing room. Yeah, got you a little breathing room. You know. And let's be
No.
honest, he's gotten very good at making money outside of football. Last year he probably made more off of endorsements than he did from the Kansas City Chiefs.
Right. And
And
dude,
not to mention, you get married, like, let's, I hate to be he's not a mooch or nothing, but
right.
if your wife's got a couple billion, y'all two might be start talking about buying a team together type money. Like, what am I doing playing? Like, you can't play and own. What are we
Yeah,
doing
you
here?
can make him NFL history one more time on the way out.
Mm,
Be like Michael
mm,
Jordan. Go ahead and buy that
mm.
team and then start at shooting guard. But no, I mean we're gonna have
Well,
to
I
sit
think
there.
the
I think
problem
we're
is,
gonna have
is
to. You said what now?
I think the problem is you're gonna try to buy Cleveland. Like, you gotta get an affordable
Oh man,
franchise.
fast.
You know.
Anyway, they're not. If anybody who handles money for Travis Kelsey even says that's a good idea for him to do that, they're fucking lying, and he needs to fire them. Like, what are we
Right,
talking about? I know he might be from Cleveland, but he's not stupid.
right.
But he got more stuff to worry about. He gonna have to stay in Kansas City as a tight ends coach because he gonna have to groom up the next generation. Because Noah Gray, I keep hearing whispers talking about he might retire. Uh, I keep all kind of stuff
Oh,
going on.
Noah
So I
Gray might
mean,
retire.
yeah, as you said, he might retire. I mean, but shoot, man, if I got 3 chips, I mean, what else is there to do? He's
Made three chips, couple made a few mil.
Man, make a
Like,
couple million, man. Get out while my body's still healthy, my mind's still right,
I
dude.
mean,
Dude,
there's some of that too. I mean, you just think about it. Like, even a base, if you play it out right, you get a nice little contract set up. Like, you can really set your whole life up pretty comfortably.
man.
You may not be. Rich is a very very loosely based. It'd take one minimum contract for me, and I'm retired. Like let's be
Right.
honest.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So it's not like these people are hurting for money, and most of these people are college graduates. He can go. He can move on and do other things if he really needs to make more money. If he's not already doing it, you see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
I don't know these people's finances. I don't at all. I know they're millionaires because of what they do, and all of these contracts are worth at least $1 million. So it's not like you're a thousandaire out here, and you won Super Bowl, so you done got bonuses, performance
right.
bonuses. So
Little
if you want to
endorsement
retire after
money,
three
doing
rings,
some.
Noah Gray,
Right.
my man, you go ahead and hang it up because you deserve it. You're a champion. Who am I to tell you not to do it? But at the same time, if you got a few more left in you, we'll take everything you got. Shoot.
Speaking of taking everything you got, the Steelers released Mitchell Trubisky, and he found his way up to Buffalo. Put a lot of pressure on old Josh Allen. you know, have a little quarterback controversy up there in
And
Buffalo.
you know what? Josh Allen is that bad that Mitch Trubisky is going to create a quarterback competition there. Because what's the real difference between Josh Allen and Mitch Trubisky?
A lot.
Exactly. Nothing. Nothing. Too much. You got to use nothing too much. Losers. Drafted. Overhyped. The list goes on.
Speaking of overhyped, we need to talk on Deshaun Watson one more time. What does Cleveland do? Do they pursue Joe Flacco again? Do they try to run that back? Do you? Because you gotta be budgety. You're already paying one guy so much money,
They're
so
going to
you
do the
gotta be.
same thing they did. If anything, they're going to go and get Jacoby Brissett to play backup. Uh, Deshaun Watson is still going to be there. He's going to play 4 games, sit back down, collect his money. Um, they really need to just be looking in the draft and thinking about their long term future. Because my only thing is, like I said, we're talking about the worst. We're talking about the worst trade in NFL history here, Mister Casey. And I'm on record saying it. Like you literally in Cleveland. I almost called them the Cavaliers, but in classic Cleveland Brown fashion, like it's the same thing the Cavaliers would have done. Pays Julius
Yeah.
Ilgauskas $100 million or something. Like you pay a guy who, for one, hadn't played in 3 years or 2 years, however long it was, and then you play a guy. Then you pay this man undisputed, undeniable, unmitigated money at that, without any
Mm.
shred of proof that he was going to be able to play going forward.
Hadn't
I'm
seen him
just
playing
like,
a year and some change too. Like you ain't seen him in a hot minute, and
that's what
you
I'm
went
saying. You
ahead
ain't
and paid
seen
him.
this man at all. And then when
Mm.
he went down, he was already kind of paper mache because the way that he played. So he was already kind of racking up a few injuries. And so you want to pay him the most guaranteed contract in all the guaranteed contracts?
Mm. Yeah,
Stop
that's why
playing, man.
we is that's why it's still kind of debatable. A lot of people will point to Russell Wilson as some kind of bum. This is the worst trade ever, is what people will call it. But the Broncos are getting out of this position for 85 million. Every dollar is guaranteed to Watson. They
And you
are
know what?
paying at all the 250 is all there.
This is be the only time y'all probably ever hear me say this. I would take Russell Wilson over Deshaun Watson. I absolutely would.
I mean, last
Because at least
season
he's
I'd
gonna
agree with
fucking
that.
play. Because at least he's gonna
He
play.
he was there. Yeah. Yeah, he was.
Like, at least he's gonna play. Like, oh my god. Good
I'm not
man.
saying either one was pretty. Look, this was
No.
bad quarterback play all around.
All the way around.
There's
Thank you. All the way around.
yeah,
It was terrible. It's a shit show all the way around. Like it's the
but I think Wilson
Springfield
does
Simpsons
care
tire
more
fire.
too. Like
Mhm.
Wilson's problem is he wants to be good. Russell Wilson's not going out there. He just sucks. That's his problem.
That's it.
He's Rudy. Rudy wanted to be good, but Rudy fucking sucked. Like, let's see, like he may have got a
And we
tackle at
all
the end of
cheered
the
for him.
whatever, right? But Rudy's still fucking. They
He was
weren't
fucking
starting him.
trash.
Yeah,
He
he
was
was.
ass.
It doesn't matter. You can only, you know, it was my reality in football. You know, I had a lot of heart, but it wasn't.
Man,
I'm not going
it
pro.
shit your
I'm not.
shitty ass down. And you
You
can
sit
root
down.
cheer us on, right? Cheer
Look,
us on. Like,
look,
God
look.
damn.
Andy Reid wasn't playing football much either. You know, let's be honest.
Right.
You know, like
He got
we can
out
start
there.
pointing to
He saw the
we can
limit. He
start
said,
pointing to
shoot.
coaches.
He said, I might not be able to play, but I know I can tell these other dudes what to do and how to win. Because if I could do it, I'd be doing it.
Exactly.
Oh, God.
Exactly.
But see, this is what makes you a great sportscaster because you can still see it. You see what's going on. You see what's
You know.
happening. And we in the lane we're supposed to be in. And shout out to everybody who's watching our whole family, YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, everybody and anybody. We appreciate y'all. We in our lane and we staying there. It's a championship lane though, y'all. As you see on the hat, jerseys and the banners in the background. It's a championship lane we in though. Um, dude, man.
Speaking of,
But we gonna see.
there's a
Speak.
quarterback. There's a quarterback I want to talk about for a second. Then I just realized we kind of forgot. You know, out of the possible quarterbacks, you can go chase Baker Mayfield.
Well, no, we
You
talk.
know,
Well, I brought up Baker a little bit earlier, but not in that sense. Yeah,
did
you're
you?
right.
My bad.
Well, only when I was making the comparison, talking about how Cleveland fumbled that.
Right,
Talking
right,
about
right. They
how
did
Steelers.
fumble that, and you know they might be able to. I guess they can't. They can't afford to chase them now, but
It's
you know
over.
another team could. You know they seen that. Look, the Bucks seem to be reluctant on wanting to pay him exactly what he's worth, so he could be. You know, if you're willing to spend the money, do you spend the money? You know, like okay, I'm biased, so I can't make this argument, right? Because you know me and Kirk Thuggins have a long history. So I can't answer this question, but I can make it. If you're a team, are you paying Kirk Thuggins 50 million or are you paying Baker 50?
I'm paying Kirk Cousins that 50. I'm honestly doing it only because he has literally the numbers to support it. Like I said, he's never under 4,000 yards in passing. His completion percentage is always high, and no matter what people say about him in prime time, he put that to bed last year and
A
earlier
bit.
this year. Well, a
Yeah, a
bit,
little.
yeah, a bit.
Yeah, a
He
bit.
showed he can contend. Let's say that at the very
Right.
least. At the very least, he can contend.
He made
Um,
it not a guarantee. Like,
Thank you.
you know,
Right. It used to
right.
be a lock, but now it's
Yeah.
like
Like,
no.
I'd bet the
Yeah.
house on a prime
Right.
time game.
But see, when we talk about betting how, when I look at Baker Mayfield in certain situation games, it almost makes me want to bet the house against him because I'm like, well, shit, it's Baker Mayfield. Like
Yeah.
he's good, but he's still in his flashes stage. Now if they can keep him going on the same path and keep growing and actually just give him a chance to settle into something official, he has a chance to be a really good quarterback, maybe Kirk Cousin esque.
Yeah, and but that's what makes me kind of nervous though, because you know I do see your point, right? Kirk Thuggins, very dependable, right? It seems like the safer option, but we also haven't seen Kirk Thuggins since he came off this injury. You know, it's not cut him. You know, and he got a lot younger with Baker too. You know, so
True.
when I first asked the question, I thought it was clear cut Baker. And you made me think about it. If Thuggins does, you do make an argument. It is close. It is a closer one than I thought it was going
Yeah,
to
I
be.
would say yeah, it's closer than what we would give if we put fandom aside. Because even though I'm a Kirk Cousins fan, I put my fandom aside when I said it because I'm just looking at the numbers at that point. Granted, it's almost an unfair shake because, like I said, I mean you can throw people backgrounds and it's a different situation with teams, all that stuff in there. But at the end of the day, from what I've had previous conversations, especially with different people in regards to sports, especially football, none of that matters. So it's whatever's decided on that Sunday. Because I often bring up the Alex Smith and Kaepernick situation about people losing their jobs and stuff like that. People look at me like I'm crazy when I said I would have started Alex Smith in the Super Bowl because
Yeah,
he should have been the starter.
he should have. They probably
Whole
they
different
might have won
story.
that game because Alex Smith
I'm
was the
sure they
better
would.
quarterback.
I'm sure they
Yeah,
would have won that game, dude. Goodness. But then again, they say, how can you be sure it didn't happen? So there's that. We can't live in what if land, but I see the fruits of his discipleship with Patrick Mahomes. So that's what makes me think Alex Smith could have won that Super Bowl.
right. Well, and he's. Yeah, I mean, you can make fun of a guy protecting the ball, but we just watched Pat Mahomes do it. You know, in
Man.
this very Super Bowl, there was a lot of plays that I think he normally would have been a little bit more aggressive with and check down,
And
continue, especially late.
he hear his
Yeah,
mentor in the
especially
back of
late
his
in the game.
mind. He hear Alex him, Patrick, check that shit down. And he checking it. That's what
Get
I'm
it.
saying. Because Patrick Mahomes talks about Alex Smith all the time. To my dude, Alex helped, and he still helps me to this day. Alex helped me be the quarterback that I am. He taught me how to settle in, and you don't have to get it every play. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? And that kind of poise you usually can't teach a young man who's got so much fucking arm talent. But Patrick Mahomes, it just goes to show the character that Pat Mahomes got. He's humble enough to know that he's clay and get molded by a nigga who's been doing it and who's always careful with the ball. There's not a better quarterback to learn from. If you don't want to learn how to turn the ball over, go to Alex Smith School of Quarterbacking because you won't turn the ball over too much. I
Yeah.
guarantee.
And I'm excited about this draft that's coming up because we're really going to be looking at who can possibly really compete with the Chiefs. Like, who is going to come in and try to prevent the three pat? Excuse me. I need to get my phrases right. We got to start
Right.
pronouncing this correctly.
Right. No, and if we're really looking at it in the AFC right now, like I said, and this next year come up, I don't really see anybody. The team and it's super early, y'all, but y'all can hold me to it. I said it earlier, the only team I think so far who's got quarterback talent enough, who seems not to fold under the big stage, is CJ Stroud and these Texans. We got to see what they do as far as tooling up just a few more things, dude. And
Yeah.
I'm telling you, dude, that team is everything that Android 17 and the Jacksonville Jaguars should have been. And the South
Yeah.
is just that much more dangerous because Richardson is going to be in contention. And I think we got another quarterback who's going to keep knocking Josh Allen down that list, bro.
Yeah.
There's too many real folks showing up for these dudes to still be mediocre.
And a quarterback that I like to hate on, but is making a lot of news this week, or at least the franchise is Jerry Jones with Dak Prescott. He's basically saying this is it. Like, if I'm going to win one, it is this year.
It's
It is going
now.
to be this year.
You sure ain't
Every
going to give him another deal. I think they're going
basically
to let Trey
he's
Lance play.
yeah, is what it is. Is he's this is the Dak Prescott. He's not giving him another contract if he does not win a Super Bowl. And I think it's just taken Jerry Jones a few years to realize what I would have told him all along.
And you know what will
Dak ain't
happen?
that guy.
After
He's not.
Dak don't get that contract, he gonna end up in Arizona with a fat contract and mess around and probably finally make it to the Super
Mm,
Bowl.
mm.
Because my thing is, when I
Wouldn't
look at
that
the
be?
stats, yeah, I
Yeah,
was saying because when I look at
timestamp
look, read this
that.
though, like hear me out, Mister Casey. When you really look at the stats and look at Dallas as a team, is it really Dak that's holding them back? Because he's putting up really good numbers. And it's been a lot of time where the
He did
defense
great
has
last
really
year.
fallen. I'm saying, and it's not his fault that the defense fell straight up flat against Green Bay. You see what I'm saying? Like,
No,
so
comically,
it
comic. Like,
he
how does
comically. You see what I'm saying? Like, so is it really Dak or in my soul I still think it's Mike McCarthy. I just thoroughly believe it's
there's a touch of that
McCarthy.
too? Yeah,
I,
yeah. 'Cause to me, it's to me, Dak is in a very he's in a very
Very.
similar situation to Purdy, right? So like you should be able to emulate
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
results. Like it is just how I kind of feel. I think Brock Purdy probably has a few more. He's got better weapons around him, but the
Far
Cowboys,
better.
it's a similar team. It's a similar team. It could be, you can call it a poor man's version of the
It's
49ers.
I would say it's almost a broke man version if you're comparing it to what San Fran got do because all of them dudes is top tier and the only top tier athletes that come to mind for Dallas is Parsons, C.D. Lamb,
CeeDee
old
Lamb's a
dude before
monster.
that's what I said him, C.D. Lamb, and what was the old boy name Buffalo Bill's brother before he got hurt
Diggs.
quarterback, yeah, and
Yeah.
his brother.
Trayvon Diggs, I think it
Trayvon
is.
Diggs. Outside of that, like, and Dak. Dak would be the fourth one. Outside of that, bro, you really ain't got too many dogs on that team.
Well,
You
your
don't
running
have.
game, Pollard was a decent running back. You know,
Yeah,
he didn't
but
perform well this year. This was a
you see,
bust
and
year
that's what I'm
for him.
saying, and that's what I was afraid of when we watched him out last year. He's better as a second punch. And
Yeah,
most people when they see that on TV, they're like, oh no, he can carry the load. Look at what he do when he come in. I'm like, yeah, because Zeke and whoever else been playing been in there badgering these people the whole game, getting ate up. So he should come in and be able to rip off. If I'm fresh, bro, I should be able to come in and get a quick 30 yarder.
yep. And that's why I want the Chiefs to draft a running back this year, it's because you need someone to go along with Pacheco. Like
Thank you for
you've been
saying
doing,
that.
you know, like you just need
I'm
not that Pacheco can't be that guy. I
right,
just want to save the damage. You know, save a
right.
little workload,
And
spread it
see,
around.
I've been talking to people. Some people want Derrick Henry to come here. I'm not really big on that idea because him and Pacheco kind of run the exact same, and you don't need two
Yeah,
power backs. Because like I said, they tried
right.
that with Lindell White and what was that boy name? What you call it back then? Before they got Chris Johnson, and then they switched it. That combination worked when it was
Right.
Lindell and Chris Johnson, but when it was Lindell and that other dude, I can't remember his name, dude. It, he was like a bowling ball too. It was something with a P at the last name. I can't. It'll come to me at some point in time. But I'd rather see. In all reality, I'd rather just pick up Austin Eckler to go with Isaiah
Yeah.
Pacheco, a
I hate
dude
to
who
say
I
it.
know, a dude who I know who can catch and is
Mm,
fast. Austin
I don't
Eckler
know.
got hands, bro.
He does.
He
And I,
he. I'm like, bro, you know what I mean? He's gassed us on many a catch play. I know you watch.
it's it's just hard for me to say that I would pick Austin Eckler over Derrick Henry. Like just to
I
say it
know it's
out
hard to
loud.
say. I'm just talking
The
about the
say it
better
out
fit
loud
for our
test doesn't.
team.
It's a better. You're absolutely right. Like
Yeah,
it is a better fit. However, just the say it out loud test just doesn't.
yeah,
It just
and that's
doesn't
the only
pass
thing
the
that turned
vibe for
people
me.
off to it. That's the only thing that turned people
Right.
off. Well, shit, it's Derrick Henry. What's
Right.
that
I
talking
mean,
about? I mean, when he
uh,
talk about how it's Derrick Henry, but nigga, this is Austin Eckler too. Like you know what I'm saying? Like dude, we're talking about a dude who can spread the field versus just a vertical threat, a downhill threat. Like
yeah, but something about just continuously punching them in the face. Just, just, you know what
no,
I'm gonna
I
do?
totally
I'm gonna
get
run
it.
it down and punch you in the face
Well,
with
we
Derrick
need
Henry,
all three then.
and then you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna hit you in the face with a dude that's gonna hit you just as hard, but maybe a little faster still, because you're a
Well, we
little
need all
younger.
three then,
You-
dude.
Man,
Because we need them to take veteran minimums, and we need
like
all three.
they need it. Yeah.
Because
Well,
if
and
that's the case with
realistically,
Derrick Henry's our goal line, anything 5 yards and in is all Derrick. If it's
yeah,
first second down, it's Isaiah, and I let Austin Eckler be the third down back because he got great hands and he's fast, dude. I like that fit so much for Pat because I feel
yeah,
like he be wanting to check down to the running back more than he do to other like well I mean that is your check
right,
down guy, but I mean you know what I mean because the way
right.
most of these other people run these short curl routes or whatever they call them a check down too, but blah blah blah. I just feel like
But
Austin Eckler.
his third read is always like going to be the running back. Like
You're
yeah,
right,
I feel you there.
exactly. He's like Travis, no, okay, Rasheed, no, Austin.
Running
Or
back.
where you? He was
Yeah,
that way,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah,
But the problem is realistically, Chiefs are not. They're not paying money for either one of these running backs. Like it's just
Yeah.
unfortunate. But
Depends
like
on what they're looking to take.
they'd
You
have to
know,
take some
because
serious.
you got to remember, Derrick Henry's already paid. He's just ready
Right.
to win, and he's getting
And
up.
and
He
I
ain't got that much left in the tank. Hell, Adrian Peterson talking about he want to come back and play.
right. And if I thought
So
AP had something left in the tank, I'd
he
be
said,
all
"I take a
about it.
run, Rody."
But
See,
I'm saying,
I would feel that way
he,
if it was Jamal Charles, but no,
yeah,
good.
I'd give him one. I'd sign him practice squad, give him a
I'm
ring.
trying to tell you,
You know what I
let's
mean?
see if
Like,
you just still got it, Jamal. Because if you do, I would always take that. It might not be 5-5 no more. I take that 5-3 if you can give it to me still. Whatever you can give me.
yeah, I don't think
But,
he got it no more either. But it's one of those
but
unfortunate aging things.
but real quick before we end up wrapping up, what do you think about the Chris Jones contract situation? You think we get it done, and how much do you think we
Yeah,
get it done for?
we get him down for 28. I think he knows.
28.
I
Think
think
he's
he
finally
knows.
realized?
Yeah, I think he knows.
Cause
He, he-
look, ain't that what I've been saying and what we've been talking about the whole last year? If people keep talking 30, I said, bro, maybe 28, maybe 27. I'm like, cause
I think the Chiefs go up to 30 though. Like,
the most that he should get is 28, maybe 29. I'm not giving you $30 million a season, bro. I'm just not. Especially for you to be
well,
second in every statistical category. You want to be paid like the best, you're not playing like the best.
I mean,
And
if
I'm
you
sorry,
look,
I mean, huh,
I seen the numbers on the splits when he was on the field and off the field,
mhm.
and it was so dramatic what the production was when he was on the field versus what it was without him. Like the sacks was like 5 to 1. You know what I mean? Like it's so much of what he brings to that defense. Like give him this 30, just make it 2 years
Mm-mm.
instead of three. Like keep it
No.
short. I give him I give him 32
He
for the
get
next two. Give him
no.
64.
See, that's the
Give him
thing
20.
is
I
that's the
think I
thing.
think they
Can't
might have to just bump up the guarantee. Is all it
no,
is. Like
no.
if we're gonna lowball him, and that's really what Tyreek Hill
That's
was
not.
looking
How is
for.
that a low ball? Tell me why old Chris Jones should be getting paid more than Quentin Williams and more than
The
Aaron
same
Donald.
reason The same reason that Pat Mahomes should be the number one paid quarterback of all time at any given time, and yet we still see people
So
give
you're
the
saying
next
Chris
guy
Jones is the
more money.
undisputed best D tackle in football?
I think he was this last year. Yeah,
No. He wasn't
I
even
take
number
him.
one in any statistical category for D tackle. How could it be number one?
Best combination because he got that ring. He got that. He got that. You got that category. You can't count. Which one of these other defensive tackles got their team a ring?
None of them this year.
None this year. But I mean, I
Mm-mm.
would argue that the other one that we're going to talk about, he got his team one. He got his team one too.
Aaron Donald,
Yeah,
of course.
he,
And was
yeah,
actually a
he's a big
factor.
part.
Like I
Now, what
said,
I'm
I think
excited
we
about
retain
is
him. I think we retain him, but like I said,
what,
I'm more along the line of 28 million, maybe 29. I think he realized that even he know he can't get 30 million because he's not playing like he should get 30 million. He's just not. Um,
right.
I'm off of chemistry,
It's
so
just
hopefully
it's
they
close
work it
to it.
out.
Right. Yeah, I just as long as they work it out, I'll be fine. I don't really care what they pay the man, as long as they pay
Right.
the man.
Just work it out.
I'm real interested. We got like a little quick minute. I want your little final thoughts on Snead. Where do you think he ends up going?
Yeah, I think he stays in Kansas City. I don't think he's gonna go anywhere.
Oh,
I think they're gonna
he
find the
gone.
money to pay him. I mean, they already
I
got the
think he
money to pay.
gone.
He only gone
I
because
think
you
they're
want
gonna
him to be
keep.
gone. Only because I don't
No,
know
I
where
do for
everybody's
that.
getting these notions that we got all these cornerbacks are just really that good, and they're not, dude. They all the rest of our corners, besides them
Growing
doesn't look
trees.
good, is because L'Jarius Sneed shut down a whole side of a field for a whole season. Like
I mean,
people aren't.
Snead's a great. I'm not dismissing. Look, Snead's great, and he's going to get us a second or first round pick, and I'm excited for it.
And when it don't happen, I'm just gonna laugh right in your face, and I'm gonna enjoy
Hey,
every moment of that championship coming back. Well, you can't. You want to get Chris Jones 30 million, but you can't give the best corner in football 15 a year. Stop playing. That's crazy.
we'll catch you next time, folks.
Yes,
This
folks.
has been Bowl Sports.
Gotta do it.
Tune in to the next show. We appreciate you.
Peace.